Hey everybody, welcome back to DeadX Bow Hunting. Today I'm going to show you a secret. Today I want to show you a trick on how you can collect the smell of the deer in your own hunting area. You know, deer have great eyes, they have great ears, but what gets us busted is their nose. So number one, we have to play the wind. But sometimes that doesn't work. The wind is fickle, it changes on us. We've got to be as scent free as possible, as clean as possible. You can buy deer urine. I've bought urine on and off for 30 years, and I've seen it work sometimes, but more often than not, I've seen it scare the crap out of deer. But there are a few ways that you can get their own smell from them. Now, one great way to do that is in the fall when you find a scrape. Now, I wouldn't necessarily do this with a primary scrape because you might want to hunt it. But when you find boundary scrapes, keep a spoon and a Ziploc bag with you and just steal the top layer off that scrape. Now you've got the smell of the bucks and the does that are using that scrape. Another way to do it, you can walk around in the woods and just pick up turds. It's going to have that smell of the deer. Now, another great way, once you've already harvested a deer, I do this every year. I don't keep the whole tarsal gland off of a buck, but I just shave all of that hair off of the area where that tarsal gland is and save that hair. That is a very distinctive smell, and it's a very strong smell. But I'm going to show you a trick that you can get the smell from the deer you're hunting off of the glands in their feet, their hair, the molecules that fall off of the deer. I want to show you how you can smell just like the deer you're hunting. And all you need, some tent stakes, a camouflage sheet, some kind of deer treat, corn, salt, whatever you want to use, and a trail camera to verify that what you're doing is working. So let's go do this. I'm going to show you how. Okay, a couple things to think about before you do this. You want to do this when you're going to have 4 or 5 days that you know it's not going to rain. Go to a spot that you know that deer use so they will find your treats. And do this close to fall, close to hunting season. No point in doing this in the middle of the summer. So here we go. Get the sheet. Spread your sheet out in kind of a flat area. You can probably see where I'm going with this. Spread your sheet out. Okay, now you want to secure all 4 corners of your sheet. Now pull this pretty tight. Okay, so you can probably see where I'm going with this. We put the sheet down, we put some treats in the middle of it. The deer are going to find the treats, and they're going to spend a lot of time standing on this sheet. So like I said, you're going to get the smell that comes out of the glands on their hooves. They're going to inevitably have some hair fall off, and definitely some molecules, particles, are going to come off of them. And they're going to be standing here long enough that they're going to probably pee and poop on here. So the point is, after a few days, this sheet is going to smell a whole lot like deer. And more importantly, it's going to smell like the deer in your own hunting area. So let's finish this up. Put it right in the center of the sheet. Probably best if you break that salt up with a hammer. Alright, got that broke up a little bit. So let's see if they really like crushed persimmons. Now again, I'm mainly putting it in the middle of the sheet. Okay, so there you go. It's just that easy. All we have left to do is set up our trail cams aimed at this sheet so we can verify that the deer were on the sheet. Now something else about trail cams just in general, not necessarily about this setup. Wouldn't it be nice to know which way the wind was blowing when you're reviewing your trail cams? Set your camera to movie. Put up a little ribbon, orange ribbon, blue ribbon, who cares? Put a ribbon that's in the frame of your video, and now when you review your trail cameras, you'll know which way the wind's blowing. Maybe, probably, you'll see a pattern. Maybe they only go into that field when there's a north wind. Maybe they only use that fence jump when there's a west wind. Whatever, you see my point. Real handy way to know which way the wind was blowing when you got those shots on the camera. Okay, so I've got the trail cam set up, aimed right at her sheet. Now something to keep in mind, I'm doing this just to show you guys. It's early summer. So when you actually do this, wear rubber gloves and be as scent free as possible. I don't have any rubber gloves on now because I'm just showing you. And it's probably a good idea to go ahead and put some leaves on it, on the sheet, to kind of help hide it so the deer isn't skittish about it. Now I know what you're thinking. Isn't the sheet going to smell like corn or sugar beets or whatever treats you put on it? Yes, it is. But it's going to smell a whole lot more like the deer that are on it. And besides, there's nothing wrong with having that corn, sugar beet, whatever smell. Okay, so as you saw, the deer did get on the blanket, but you also saw they were a little skittish about getting on the blanket. You may have to do it 2 or 3 times to get the deer used to it. Now, if you don't want to even deal with a blanket, just bring a rake with you. And instead of putting down a sheet, rake a 15-foot circle completely bare down to the dirt and put your treats in the center of that circle. And it's going to work the same way. The deer are going to spend a lot of time standing in this dirt. So after a few days, a few dry days, go in there and steal the top layer of that dirt, and you're going to have that smell. I mean, think about that for a minute. You're going to have this fresh smell of the deer in your own hunting area, as opposed to, a bottle of urine that may be deer and maybe it isn't even deer. And who knows from what state? Who knows, maybe it's from a black-tailed deer in Oregon, who knows? But think about the advantage of having the smell of the very same deer that you're hunting. That is a huge advantage, to have the smell of the population of deer right where you are hunting. The very same deer, because deer know each other by smell. The same way we know each other by name, they identify each other by smell. So to have the smell of the deer in your area is a huge advantage. But you have to picture multiple deer standing here for at least an hour a day, because they're going to visit this a couple of times a day. You're going to have a lot of smell in this little area. Now keep in mind, you and I can't smell like a deer. So this dirt may not smell like anything much to us. It is going to have the smell of your deer. Now again, use it the same way you would use the blanket. You may not want to get dirt on your hunting clothes or put your hunting clothes down in a tub with dirt, but I do. It doesn't bother me. They're going to get dirty anyway, and it's getting that smell on the clothes. If you don't want to use that, again, put it in a mock scrape or put it on your boots. Use it however you want, but you have the freshest, most real scent that you can possibly have when you steal theirs from them. Take care, keep on shooting, and we'll see you next time on DeadX Bow Hunting.